The ancient ritual of exorcism was a mystery to most moviegoers when author William Peter Blatty created a new kind of terror that made heads spin. The Exorcist broke boundaries of frightening fantasy and box office records with equal abandon. News reports told of people waiting in line for hours, fainting in shock, then lining back up to see what they'd missed. The Exorcist won 10 Oscar nominations. The film industry got its first modern blockbuster, and getting good and scared would never be the same. Now William Peter Blatty is at it again as the director as well as the writer of Exorcist III.
This is what I find terrifying, which are creaks and shadows and what your own mind and imagination
excuse me,
bring to the subject.
Ready, and action.
my God!
Cut.
George C. Scott stars in Exorcist III as Police Lieutenant Bill Kinderman, the detective who probed the original mystery.
Well, he's a very, kind of an old-line cop, very dependable, rather conservative chap.
How was your day?
Fabulous, Troy. Our trackers at long last brought in Mushkin, a Georgetown terrorist and scourge of society, who breaks into people's homes and completely redecorates.
You okay, Bill?
Thorough professional. I want you to telex Richmond right away and most urgently for the file on the Gemini killer.
The Gemini killer's been dead for 15 years.
Who was speaking to you?
But he's dead.
He should live so long. He experiences one body blow after another, one incredible shock after another. 6 bodies, some decapitation. 2 different people committed these murders? The fact that the man maintains his sanity speaks well for his mental health to begin with. Father Karras was my best friend. I loved him. 15 years ago, he jumped or was pushed to his death down that long flight of steps.
We start 15 years later with the same shot out the window, down the stairs, and it's the connecting link, and it brings the story full cycle.
Exorcist III deals with the concept of multiple possession.
Multiple possession is that some being is capable of possessing a number of bodies, not necessarily at the same time, and not necessarily one at a time.
Please help me.
I've been waiting for you, Lieutenant.
It's the most imaginative script I've read. There is a surprise on absolutely every second page. I can see the audience go, no, ooh, oh, right like that.
What are these?
There's not even a smudge on the jars.
All of his blood?
And not a drop of it spilled. There's only the writing in his blood.
There is a character in the film who has medical knowledge, and we don't know who it is. It could be me.
In the 20th century, at least in the Western world, approximately 70% of all reported cases of possession are of possession by the spirit of someone dead, as opposed to so-called demons or devils.
I was obliged to settle the score on behalf of a friend. One needs friends. There is suffering over there. They can be cruel.
It's found in every culture, every single one. Difference is that in modern times, you rarely hear of possession in the Western world, whereas in the East, especially in the Third World, possession is an everyday fact of life.
A certain matter of an exorcism, I think, in which your friend, Father Karras, expels certain parties from the body of a child. Certain parties were not pleased, to say the least.
And I played Father Karras in the original Exorcist I. He was killed in the line of performing an exorcism.
But deliver us from the evil one.
The Catholic Church have always been hesitant to reveal how many exorcisms, who are exorcists, because of the fear of starting a brush fire, of suggestibility to people who are mentally unstable. There's been 2 or 3, I think, in New York now the last month. Alleged.
What role does Miller play in Exorcist III?
He's some way connected with Father Karras in the first one. But that's all I can say on pain of excommunication. You are dealing with demonic powers which are not defined with a great deal of clarity. You'll define it in your own mind of what happened in the room, or what happened in the cell, or what happened in a dark, empty Georgetown street. Bill has chosen to allow the audience to engage in the picture by exercising their own imagination.
Even the cast and crew of Exorcist III became part of that mystery. When they received their scripts, the final pages were blank.
No one has those pages other than Bill Blatty and Carter DeHaven and a few people here at Morgan Creek Productions. We don't want the devil to find out what we're going to do to him.
With respect to the subject of possession itself, that I had to do a tremendous amount of research, largely in the Library of Congress. And there was only one case in which the participants were living. I can make a prudent judgment with about 80 to 90% certainty this was the real thing, whatever that is. I know one thing, it's not some mental illness or any other kind of illness. If it was...
Falling down a long flight of stairs. What does that mean? Oh, you are issuing a clear invitation to the dance. You are